I'm sure I've talked about this before on this channel, but we have new people joining all the time, so it's well worth sort of reminding people of the stories, and for people who maybe haven't heard it before. Um, Before the pandemic, I worked for a company where I had a 4-day week, and it was amazing. Generally, I had never thought, wondered what a 4-day week would actually be like, but actually having a company that gave me a 4-day week was generally amazing. Um, from like a stress perspective, I absolutely lowered my stress levels monumentally. You can deliver very easily what you do in a normal week within a 4-day week very, very easily. Um, it's pretty easy to do, but people are like, "Oh my god, I lose a day." No, you don't. Um, Most people, if you really think what you do in a week, you spend a lot of time idling more than you think. But if you've got a 4-day week, all of a sudden you are really prioritizing, where your work is going to be and what it's going to do. Um, but the benefits to it are amazing. I had no loss of wage. I got paid exactly the same as someone else who might be in a similar position to me, but I worked a 4-day week. Generally was amazing. I looked forward to going into work on a Monday. Um, it was a bizarre feeling that I've never felt because we've always had, I don't know about you guys, but I've always felt going back into work on a Monday after the weekend is always like, ugh. But completely the other way around. I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." Yeah, I looked forward going into work, Um, I had time, extra time on a, rather than thinking in my leisure time, sort of packing it into like, a Saturday, what I want to do to unwind. I had more time to do it. I could go and do stuff on a Friday. You know, um, it was absolutely, absolutely amazing. And if it weren't for the pandemic, I would probably still absolutely be in that job. But moving to a 4-day work week is something we are now seeing companies explore a lot of. Even before the pandemic, you started to see some of this stuff be talked about. Companies were experimenting. What do we want to do? You saw HR departments in some companies trial a 4-day work week. And now we are seeing, especially after the pandemic, first of all, working from home be massively now approved being the norm. And remember, it is worth reminding people, I was very much in an industry where working from home was seen as like a really good benefit, but you only really got to do it like once a month. Yeah, you did it once a month and that was it. And now, so many marketing companies don't even have an office anymore, or they have an office, but it's tiny because no one comes in to use it. It's like a lot smaller office. There might be a meeting room. It's like, there's your laptop. Go work where you want. Go work from home. We've seen that increase. We've seen that change come to this just from that, and especially after the pandemic, more and more people are like, yeah, actually working from home, it's become very, very much the norm in a lot of people. And you can go, can I work from home today or tomorrow or whatever? Your boss will be more like, yeah, sure, go do it. Whereas before, they'd be like, whoa, work from home? How can I keep an eye on you? How do I know you're doing your work? Uh, Pandemic changed all that, and of course, I think this is definitely a driving force to get a more 4-day work week. So we now are seeing a brand new 4-day work week trial being trialed specifically by a hospitality company, which I think is going to be quite interesting because they've got some interesting ways to how they think they can sort of maybe sort of become more attractive to sort of employing, better for their employees as well. So we'll get into those comments as well in a bit. But before we do go getting into this, please remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page, the one updation called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, there's the Pony Club down below as well. So let's crack on then into this. So 1,000 UK workers to join the first 4-day week trial under Labour. So, over 1,000 UK workers in the UK will now get extra time off with no loss of pay in their first official pilot of a 4-day week campaign under the Labour government. The British Society for Immunology and Craft Brewery in Hackney, East London, are amongst these businesses who have now joined this latest trial, which is being led by the 4-day week campaign. That's being launched today. So the campaign will aid to present its findings of the latest pilot to the Labour government in the summer, as now momentum builds for a shorter working week. And again, you are right. We are seeing this. We are seeing this being massively built and for what people want. So at the moment, you've got with the new workers' right bill, you can sort of request a compressed work week. You get to sort of maybe choose your more hours, but it's not a true 4-day work week. But if you do that and you can sort of say, hey, here's a 4-day work week, that will certainly, I think, change things dramatically. And you are seeing this being built up quite a lot. So maybe we're not there yet, but maybe in a couple of years we might be. We might indeed be there. So they said that nearly at least 200 British businesses have switched to a 4-day work week permanently during the 4-day work week campaign, which, of course, is run by a non-profit organization which launched back in 2022. However, they said the winning over the government may be trickier. Again, that is true. There are no plans currently to do this in this particular Labour government. They have lots of people have talked about it and implementing it, but Labour haven't said anything really sort of about doing it at the moment. But of course, if you are a business, well, you don't need permission. So this is what one of the people who runs Crate Brewery, who's one of these doing this trial, feels about it. They've said they feel it's somewhat groundbreaking now for the hospitality industry. Restaurants and pubs, bars tend to be now run on relatively thin margins with workers at or even near minimum wage. However, the brewery is hoping that this new working pattern will improve recruitment. They said for operational teams, physically demanding service shifts can mean that days off are now spent recuperating rather than enjoying now personal time off. Although we've never struggled with retention, we do recognize the now competitive advantage that comes with being ahead of the curve with a 4-day week. We hope that it will aid recruitment, particularly now in support for office roles. So we are almost there. This is becoming more and more of a thing. I think you will start to see more UK businesses start to implement these types of things. I think you really will. Working from home pre-pandemic, if you remember what it used to be like, was like, I get to work from home 1 day a month. Now it's like, oh, we want to work from home? Go for it. You know, I think the 4-day work week, we're going to be seeing this rolled out. I think you are seeing more and more businesses when they do these 4-day work weeks, they see the massive improvement it has with staff retention, helps with recruiting because more people want that. Trust me, in the marketing world, if there's ever a company that does a 4-day work week, like people apply for it en masse. It's insane to see, but it's true because people want it. So I think you'll start to see more and more businesses do this. And eventually there'll just come a tipping point where even the government's like, well, go on then. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time. And also, don't forget, of course, click the like, click the share button on your way out. And of course, let me know what you think. Have you done a 4-day work week or have you been involved in a 4-day work week trial? I'd not be too surprised if there are people involved in this. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, we'll see you all next time.